He said, one day I will come upstairs and I will kill you and your family. So it's basically playtime for the Israeli soldiers. And I was blown away. I was a subconscious racist. I didn't know that I was one. And I think it is almost impossible to support Israel today because you just can't justify it. And I cannot wait for the day that it's a one state. So my story begins, I have a friend who is Palestinian. He is my best friend. He was my best man. And he used to tell me about Palestine and I never believed him. I went home and watched the news and the news would tell me something different. And then he told me this for about 10 years. 2014 came along and Israel, as they do every few years, they start mowing the lawns for the Palestinians and they start bombing and they start killing, stealing land in the occupied West Bank. And I thought, this isn't right. I was a subconscious racist. I didn't know that I was one. And when I read mainstream magazines or mainstream newspapers or I watched the mainstream news, they told me something that didn't sit right. And then I started posting. And because I'm white and I'm not religious, people, for whatever reason, believed me. They would believe me more than the Palestinians. I said, right, I'm going to go. And so I went over in 2014. I didn't go to document anything. I just went over to go and have a look. I wanted to meet some Palestinians, and I was blown away. And it started when I was on a bus going through Allenby Bridge, which is through Jordan. We go to Palestine through that way. And it started because some Israeli soldiers in brown chinos and a tight T-shirt and a machine gun got on the bus, and they told everyone else to get off the bus except for me. And I was white. I was a foreigner coming into this country, yet the Palestinians going home into their own country were getting harassed. So I started wandering around Palestine. I went to Berlin, which is a village, and I met a photojournalist, Hamdi Abu Rama, who took me around. And my journey continued on around Palestine, hearing stories of what Israelis had done to the Palestinians. And it was horrific and it was rampant because it was children being shot in the legs, in the sciatic nerves. So they were all limping in a particular village. And so it's basically playtime for the Israeli soldiers. But everything that I saw, I thought it would be irresponsible of me not to report. I was with Issa Amro, who is an international human rights person. He's Palestinian, lives in Hebron. And we were walking down a certain street and he said, look, down here, I can't go any further. And I said, yeah, right, whatever. How? What do you mean? We walked to this particular spot and they said, Issa, no further. And so they were really serious. They would not allow him to come. There was a child about 14 years old, swaying his hips in a very arrogant manner, started to speak Hebrew to Issa, and Issa speaks Hebrew as well as Arabic. It was very aggressive. Afterwards, I said to Issa, I said, what did he say? He said, one day I will come upstairs and I will kill you and your family. And then he high-fived a soldier that was standing there not allowing Issa to go any further. They are programmed that it's the Palestinians that are taking their land. It's them telling them that the Palestinians are terrorists. But then I meet Palestinians in a neighborhood in Jerusalem and I say, have you ever spent time with Palestinians? And they said, no, why would I? They are dirty animals. And you can understand why Palestinians are afraid. I remember I'd spend some time with a Palestinian family and we'd go out for a walk with the boys. We're going to go for a walk. You know, the kids maybe 15. And I could always see the mothers really worried when the son was leaving. And they said, we know one day they're not going to come home. And then their behavior is then justified by international governments allowing them to continue this behavior. And so the deprogramming, it was almost instant. You could feel it because if you walk around the Israelis, it is hateful. I felt that I could make a difference. I am white. The world thinks differently. I have a white privilege. I need to use that white privilege. And I felt not an obligation, but I felt that I had to do it. When you sit with activists you get to click pretty quickly because you don't have a lot of superficial conversations. We're there for the same goal. We're there to try and make change. We're there trying to change the Palestinian life. We're trying to hold Israel to account. The one thing that I've gained, I've become a better person because of what I am able to do within the Palestinian community and hanging out with the Palestinians. I would say you are stupid. You are ignorant. You are dumb. You are ill-informed. You can't read. You can't think for yourself. And you really should grab a mirror, have a look at it, and try and change what you see. Because Israel has been bombing for years, not just 2 years, not since October 7. It's been for years, decades. They're using fighter jets. They've got ships out in the Mediterranean Sea that they can shoot the Palestinians with. It is not equal. It is not even close to equal. The media war also has not been equal. And I think it is almost impossible to support Israel today because you just can't justify it. There is too much damning information against them. October 7 changed the world. October 7 opened the eyes to people, to Israel, to see them for what they are, but also to see what Palestine has been going through. And the Palestinians have tried every option. They've tried everything, courts, they've tried everything over the years and nothing has worked. And unfortunately, this way has achieved something, but they were left with no choice at all. But the world is opening up, and I feel that there is a lot more of us now supporting. And so, and you know, when you go to the rallies in Melbourne, you go to the rallies, there's people every week, every single week with their flags and they're cheering and they're chanting. And it's a beautiful thing. And people come up to me and say, Palestine will be free one day. And I have seen it catapulting. It has been amazing how fast it's becoming. There's what we call October 7ers. You know, people have come in because of October 7, you know, and they might be a celebrity and they need to be careful. I mean, what they're doing is fantastic because the word's getting out. But it's not about us as individuals. It's not about us as individuals. It's about Palestine. And it's also about, once Palestine's liberated, it's holding Israel to account. The Palestinians are living this today. They are living this. We need to stop getting comfortable swiping. You see so many of these celebrities now using their platform and getting more Palestinian voices out there as well, because I always believe that if you've got a platform, you've got to build a platform with Palestinians with you. We can't, it's not our voice, it's a Palestinian voice. We need to help get their voices. And I remember in 2014, we didn't have the phones that we have today, but everything would have been, it was sort of blurred out, so you didn't see much. Whereas today, nothing really is blurred out. Palestine is going to need the world to help them. Trauma, surgery, everything. It's not only rebuilding buildings or the schools or the hospitals. We need to rebuild this. And that's a very, very important thing. We need to make sure that everybody we see is a person who's had a mum and a dad. It's had children. We need to not forget it's a human being. The one thing that Israel is so good at is dehumanizing Palestinians. My message to the Palestinians is the fact that I'm so sorry that we've forgotten you. I'm so sorry that we've let you down. I'm so sorry that you have been continually blamed for your own deaths. And all of the true stories going on in there come out as they're fake, because that's the way Western media and Western governments need to spin it. It's very important that we always talk about Gaza and the occupied West Bank as Palestine, because Israel's always wanted to separate, because that's the way they are. West Bank and Gaza are going through slightly different things, but both horrific, both totally horrific and unacceptable. And I cannot wait for the day that it's a one state.